Yes, it feels like that. More than 10.
Yeah, more than
10. Yes, and it started actually after we had done for many years the Radhadesh Kirtan mellows or Radhadesh mellows, and we really felt that it would be nice to not only have the Kirtaniyas sing, those who are very expert in doing it, but we wanted to expand the singing or spread the singing to Kirtan lovers everywhere, and then devised this course, which is mostly, I think, a practical course, but there's always a little, we could call it, fundamental principles are taught there. And it's a great pleasure for me to see that. I have to excuse myself, I'm a little bit, life is sometimes intense, so we're traveling too much at the moment, but yeah, and for this fundamental principles of Kirtan, we always felt it's good to spend some time focused on this, because you can have all the melodies, you can have perfect rhythms on the karatas and the danga playing, your voice can be trained, but the heart of Kirtan is not in these things. These musical skills, melodies and so on, they need to be infused with a life of devotion in order to make it a real Krishna Kirtan and not just a musical presentation. So I will be talking a little bit on this to all of you today, and we have two sessions, one now and the second in the afternoon, if I'm correct, 3 o'clock or so. So please give me your good ears and hearts and yes, open to attention. One moment. You will see today, and Sacinandana Swami must become a little older than an 18-year-old child. So bear with me. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishatariye Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. To best understand Kirtan, we need to look at two Sanskrit words. First of all, Kirtan, what does this mean? And then Bhakti. Kirtan is a part of the ninefold processes of Bhakti. Kirtan, the word Kirtan comes from the syllable kirt. And it's interesting, the word kirt means to praise, to glorify, but it means also to magnify. When you magnify to use this glasses. They're simple glasses who magnify a letter. So with an unaided eye, I cannot read my notes. But if I take this magnifying glass, the notes which were vague for my eye and distant become close and clear. Magnified. We magnify in Kirtan Krishna, who's far away from our perception and whom we can't always see. But when we do the Krishna Kirtan, then Krishna becomes very close. Prabhupada gave a very interesting definition of this. He said, instead of approaching God, when we sing Kirtan, God approaches us. It's amazing, no? Instead of trying to walk towards Krishna, when we sing Kirtan, Krishna walks towards us. What do you think about it, Krishna? Wonderful, no?
Yes.
And it's an experience of those who sit in Kirtan. All of a sudden, when the Kirtan is a real Kirtan, a Bhakti Kirtan, what that means we will learn in a moment, we feel somehow closer to Krishna. No? We feel his ecstatic touch on our hearts. We might stretch our arms and go, Hare Krishna. And we show other symptoms of being touched by a divine presence. No? We have experienced this. So Kirtan means to magnify, to bring close to us the Lord, who's otherwise sometimes described in the scriptures as unapproachable. Words cannot go there and describe him, the mind cannot go there and think of him, but he can give the words the power and the mind the strength to think of him. But he's unapproachable. But if he chooses to approach us, that is wonderful. Kirt, the syllable which is forming Kirtan, means to glorify, to praise, but also to magnify it, to bring it to us. The next word is bhakti. Bhakti is very interestingly defined in the Garuda Purana, because not all of you speak from morning till evening Sanskrit. I will not recite the Sanskrit for you. I will just go into the English. The word bhakti is derived from the root word bhaj. All the Sanskrit words are composed of words which are considered root words. And this bhaj is the root of bhakti. This verbal root bhaj means to render service. Therefore, thoughtful sadhaka should engage in the service of Sri Krishna with great endeavor, for it is only by such service that bhakti is born. Bhakti, you could say, is love in action. It always includes service. It's not just a feeling, but the feeling of devotion is manifested or finds an expression in acts of service that are for your pleasure. For your pleasure means Krishna's pleasure. So, Kirtan means to glorify Krishna in a bhakti way that means for Krishna's pleasure. This is very important if you want to understand what is Kirtan. Kirtan, Krishna Kirtan glorifies Krishna and with a service it bring him pleasure. When I do service, for instance, for Krishna, I will never serve a cake without cream. I will always add the cream there because I know he's pleased by it. So any type of service is done for the pleasure of the person one serves. No? This is the idea of devotional service made with an example that has relevance to the Gora Bhagavan. So yes, this is very important. Kirtan, glorification of Krishna as a devotional service for Krishna. Wonderful. I have been often, somehow due to my traveling nature as a lecturer, I'm often meeting Kirtan people who have big audiences like Deva Pamal and Nitin and Jayutal, Krishna Das and so on. And when we sit together as amongst ourselves, they always ask me, do you have something to say to us from your tradition? And I say, yes, in our tradition, Kirtan is not just a yogic expression for meditation. It's not just something to bring the voice back to the soul. No? It is more. It is a communication with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom we glorify as an act of giving him pleasure, of rendering him service. And then they say, yes, this we know, we have seen in India, but please excuse us, we are not yet Bhaktas, so we do not know how to do that. But hopefully we will learn it one day. So this is very important for us in the Kirtan course. I want to go now to the next point. What do we practically do in Kirtan? My dear everyone, listen now carefully. Kirtan, just like Japa, has 3 dimensions. There's the Kirtan of the body, the Kirtan of the mind, and the Kirtan of the heart. And ideally, these 3, body, mind, and heart, will come together in Kirtan. With the body, I simply sing, I sit, I sing, play the instruments as nice as possible. With the mind, I focus on what I do and focus on the sound vibration. And with the heart, I glorify the Lord in order to give him pleasure. It's always when you sing Kirtan, you can make a body check. Do I sit properly? Do I have a firm grasp on the cantals and the mridanga and the harmonium? Do I do this? You can make a mind check. Am I focused, or here comes a word from the hippie generation, am I spaced out? Do you still use these words? In our am I somewhere else or absent-minded? And you can make also a heart check. Do I do this with devotion? The heart is the seat of devotion. I would like to, because this is called real Kirtan, this presentation, I would like to introduce you to a name of Radharani. You all know, have heard about Radha Krishna on the altar. I think most of you are devotees Radharani has many names, and one is Gandharvika. This means she who dances and sings. Gandharvika means expert dancer and singer. What sentiments make a person sing and dance? I want to ask you. When do you sing and dance? Do you do it when you're very distressed? You laugh. It's so obvious, no? You sing and dance when your heart is overjoyed with happiness. And then you sing and dance, and you may take your those who are men, they may take their upper garments and joyfully bathe them in the air. Singing and dancing is done with a heart, from a heart that is overjoyed, not a miserable heart. Imagine someone is morose in the heart. Somehow he was very heavily criticized because of something he did, or maybe his beloved partner has cancelled the relationship and he's a little morose. If you would tell this person, "Oh, please sing and dance," I'm not in the mood to sing and dance, really. I'm not able to sing and dance at the moment. I need to do some digestion, emotional digestion first. Sometimes our kirtans lack this joyful heart, this devotional heart. We somehow do it, here comes my new English word, out of rote. You know what rote means? Because we've done it yesterday, okay, that's what we do. Give me that pair of cartels, please, and then we go left and right and so on. But singing and dancing is at best done and has the most convincing sound and mood when it is done with either a heart full of joy or a heart full of devotion. Do you agree? And so Radharani's way is that Gandharvika, she who is singing and dancing, because her heart is always full of love for Krishna, and she's overjoyed. And so we hear that we just prepared something in the morning when Radharani goes to Krishna's palace in underground to cook for him. As long as she is still either in the town of Vashana, she will cover her head very shyly. But the moment she's out with her girlfriends, she will take the veil down and sing and dance joyfully for Krishna. Because, yes, that heart is very involved. It's always beating. Radha's heart is always beating. Krishna, Krishna. This is Kirtan. It must involve not only the body, not only the mind for the mental focus. It should be done with the devotional heart where you turn to Krishna. Now, because I'm a little bored today, only today, I forgot my book, The Living Name of Krishna. Would you be so kind to go downstairs in my room and please bring it? It's on the table. I'm very sorry. What you do to awaken the heart to devotional feelings in Kirtan is something very, very important for you. Now you may have to listen. devotional heart is silent, only our physical heart pumps and makes the sound, but our devotional heart is just not activated. Our thoughts are in what gets us through the day. When I will eat at such a time, such time, I read so and so. Then when you are in the Kirtan course, I have to make sure that I'm there with my teacher, who teaches me harmonium or karatas or mridanga and so on. Our mind is very much engaged in functioning and bringing us through the day, and the heart is often silent. It is often not there. So when we are asked in Kirtan that the best Kirtan is coming from not a morose heart or a dumb or dull heart or a switched off heart, but from a devotionally active heart, we have to ask ourselves the question, what is awakening my spiritual heart? Do you agree?
Yeah.
This is, I think, something which we all have to look at in our devotional life. This morning I was walking, I did a japa walk just to do the circulation, and I was walking and chanting, and after some time I just stopped and said, Sacinandana Swami, I'm a little bit disappointed with you. You're so tired and your heart is not involved, you're just trudging down the road. This is not what a devotee should do. I mean, you are supposed to be a devotee, but look at your heart, it's silent at the moment. So I said, okay, let me just go to the bench over there, and then I sit down, and then I will awaken my devotional heart. The heart becomes usually awakened by a specific type of thought. When you think with affection in someone, I see some of you are girls, ladies sometimes feel incomplete without a nice, understanding, loving friend at their side. So that loving friend will always awaken the tired heart. Will you agree? It can be a lady friend, or at one time, for most ladies in the development of the female psychology, it's good if there is a good male friend to the side. He helps. The feelings of affection can awaken our tired heart. I once met the strongest lady of India. She was a small Himalayan lady. This very small, maybe half. And she had a document. How do you call this? These papers you put on the wall? Diploma. A diploma. She had a diploma. Strongest lady of India. And I asked her, strongest lady, you look a little small. And she said, yeah, no, I was fighting with a bear and defeating him. And listen to her story. She told us her story. She was, through a dolmetscher, she was working on her field, and the children of her neighbor were playing nearby, when all of a sudden a hungry bear from the Himalayan mountains came and attacked the little children who were playing. she took a tilling instrument, and took it and ran to the beer and just beating them. Beer and chased them away. Wow, you fought a bear? Yes, a big bear. And how were you doing it? And she said, Maharaji, actually it was love who defeated the bear. I had so much love for my neighbor children. They are so nice children, little naughty, but nice children. They come always to my house and they drink the milk from our cow, and we talk and they tell me everything that is in their mind. So I love them. And when I saw the bear was attacking them, gone was the big, small Himalayan lady, but there was a strong love in my heart, and that strong love defeated the bear. The heart becomes awakened to incredible things through love and affection. Will you agree with me? The strongest lady of India shows a small little, like Anuradha, but not so strongly built. But this Anuradha, you should see the strongest lady. You will have great respect. I said, oh, Mataji, you are teaching me something. Yes, when will my love for Krishna become so strong? And I was thinking. So that love for Krishna becomes born in the heart when you just become aware in a very simple emotional way of what Prabhupada says is the Govinda necessity. I brought something for you here, which I want to read to you. It's here. Let me just look. Yes, my dear devotees, I will. I don't know where it is in this book, and I have not found out. Is it here? No. I can repeat from memory. Prabhupada said once that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given up the world. Nothing is in the world of importance for him. He wanders through the lands. He is totally detached from everything, but still there are tears in his eyes. The tears are not for any material things, he has given it up. The tears are for his only necessity. And then Prabhupada says, the Govinda necessity. You all need Krishna. There is a God-shaped hole in your heart, Krishna-shaped heart. And you can try whatever you want. You will not be able to fill the heart, not even by pizza. The heart will remain empty unless you put Krishna there. Not even by a good marriage, not by a good house near the Radhadesh temple. There will always be frustration as long as you don't fill that God-shaped heart with the only thing that can fill it, that is Krishna. Yes, you are hesitating. Yes, believe me, this is the fact of life, because we are, all of us are simply parts of Krishna. We belong to him. We are his part and parcel. We are sparks of the one big fire, the Krishna fire. And as long as we are separated from that home, that original place, we are not, we will be lamenting. That's why when we have a good kirtan, Krishna comes, we feel Krishna is close to us, we feel so satisfied. Everything seems to be alright. Oh, marriage, oh, I don't care. Oh, eating, later. Now I'm okay. We feel like this, very satisfied, very complete, because the hole in our heart is filled. What do you think, Surah? That's our experience. No, we have this experience. So you awaken the heart really the moment you feel. You may not feel the love, but you feel the need to turn to Krishna. There's a beautiful shloka which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. The shloka goes like this. I will sing it for you. Ayinanda tanuya kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budo kripaya tava pada pankaja stitaduli sadisham vichintaya. Oh my Lord Krishna, oh Son of Maharaj Nanda, I'm your eternal servant, but because of my own activities, I have fallen into this horrible ocean of ignorance. Now please, be causelessly merciful to me. Consider me a particle of dust at your lotus feet. When you are drowning in an ocean, my dear everyone, there's only one thing which is of interest. You are not thinking of a new car. You're not thinking of a replacement of your old model mobile telephone. You are not thinking of a meal even. You're not thinking of what people will think of you. You're not thinking of dresses and hairstyles. You are only thinking of one thing and one thing only. Oh, I need to get out of this ocean. Someone save me. If as long as I'm still drowning in the ocean, everything is of less importance. So my dear everyone, this is the longing for Krishna. When you sit in Kirtan, you should make yourself familiar with the idea. This is glorification of Krishna. It is magnifying His presence in my life, in the life of all those who participate. I will do this now as a means to please Him, to gain His transcendental affection. And I will do this with a heart that has understood He is my one necessity. He is my one desire. And so on. When Krishna hears you singing like this, my dear devotees, my dear friends, my dear skeptics, also, Krishna immediately responds to you. And everyone will feel the response of Krishna. The hall in which you do Kirtan, or the apartment or the room in which you do Kirtan will become electrified because Krishna responds to it. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, there is a beautiful quotation from another work, the Adi Purana. The Adi Purana is very interesting for us as devotees because it contains questions by Arjuna to Krishna and Krishna's answer. I think you are all familiar with the Bhagavad Gita, where you know some of the questions Arjuna asks, but in the Adi Purana, Arjuna's questions have another twist to them. They are very personal. and they are very intimate. They are spoken in the closeness of the transcendental friendship. And Krishna answers also without any. I mean, he has a devotee crowd in mind. He says, "O Arjuna, now listen very careful to what is in my heart." He will reveal his heart now. Those persons who sing my name and dance directly before me truly purchase me. Purchase me. They made me their own. Don't be surprised by what I tell you now. Truthfully, those who sing my names and cry tears of longing, they purchase me, Janardana, completely. Except for these devotees, no one else can purchase me. This is real Kirtan. When Krishna is impressed by your, let us say, yes, becomes attentive to your Kirtan, and all of a sudden his presence is felt. You feel it, that the atmosphere rises and becomes inspired, and the Lord is there. Yesterday, we listened to a Kirtan by Admala Harina in the year 2009. 2018. Krishna is our library person. He knows exactly how to categorize each Kirtan which he heard. So 2018. We heard it, and the Kirtan was very melodically, but at one stage, towards the end, there was a distinct different feeling. It was really that Krishna's presence could be felt. The sound of the devotees in the chorus was much louder. The emotional response was much more there. Time had left the Kirtan. I mean, there was no awareness of time. Went on and on. And it was a Kirtan in the Radhadesh mellows, which was sung by all the devotees and Amala Harina as the leader Kirtan. So, yes, Krishna had seemed to respond, and he felt as if he was there. This, my dear devotees, is real Kirtan. So let us summarize. It was this was not a complicated lecture. I have made it quite distinct. I wanted to explain what is Kirtan from the root of the word. I wanted to also explain what is Bhakti Kirtan, Kirtan done with Bhakti, where we use 3 items in the Kirtan. Do you remember? Body, our body. What do we do with the body?
Properly.
Properly, yes, but Kirtan. We sing with the vocal cord. We play the instrument. Yes. The mind, what do we do with the mind? We focus. Focus means whenever it will wander, which it will do, don't worry. I mean, worry is not the word. Don't be surprised. You can try your best, but the function of the mind is it's chanchala, unsteady, but you then bring it back to the Kirtan, and then you need to Shrimati Radharani's name? Do you remember the name? Gandharika, yes, which means she's expert in singing and dancing, and we observed that this is so because her heart is joyful, not morose. The morose person. Do you understand morose? Or thought, or mental, or so on? They can't really sing and dance. That's not possible. You can do some mechanical thing, but it looks like a clown from the circus, So, yes. So these sentiments which are there for Kirtan, in the Kirtan, come when the devotee understands, this is now for Krishna, and I want to express my devotion for Krishna through my singing and my use of instruments, and at that time the chanting happens. My dear devotees, the chanting of Kirtan happens only when the mantras which you sing are enriched with these transcendental feelings, like hankering for Krishna. In the scriptures, there are two examples from the bird species. I have them here. One is the Chataka bird, and the other is the Chakravaki birds. Now, I always bring this in my lecture in Radhadesh in the Kirtan course. The Chataka bird is an interesting species. It looks a little like a black sparrow. We once had a little video of him, and he somehow drinks only water from the cloud. He doesn't drink water even if there is the Ganga river. He is made like this, and he only flies up and drinks water from the clouds. So that is only possible at the monsoon time. I think India is now entering the monsoon time, is it? It is monsoon, yeah. So once a year, that poor bird gets his water. Can you imagine how thirsty the bird is? How much hankering and longing it has? So this is how Kirtan this is one example of how Kirtan should be done. You should be more thirsty than the bird. You are missing Krishna since many births. Woo. So the bird goes to the cyan, the blackish cloud, and it chirps. Chirps, you understand? It's like the Priya, 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 Priya. Priya means the Odiyama. Priya Kishore, we say. Priya, Priya, Priya. It comes like this. The other is more romantic. It's the Chakravaki birds. They somehow have a curse. They can't find in the night their partner. Although the night is clearly the time for romantic exchanges, they just somehow can't find their partner in the night. One strolls on one side of the forest and cries, "Where are you? Where are you?" The other partner is at another side of the forest. "Where are you? Where are you?" And they can't find each other. It's a biological, it's really one of these things which are studied in biology. So, can you imagine, they are a couple, they are interested in romantic exchange, but they can't have it. So in the same way, you are an eternal part of Krishna. You should be interested in a loving relationship with him, but in Kirtan you should chant like this, like the Chakravaka bird who can't meet Krishna so easily. So this is your verse. Nam nam tu sanketam, nam nam tu sanketam atiparam, megam vina pravishicha takanam, ratro viyogat Svapate datangi valayasya chako kroshana vaprati. Like the distressed crying of the Shataka birds on a cloudless day of the rainy season, or the lamenting of a flock of Chakavagiti birds when parted from their husbands at night. The Sankirtan of the Lord's name arises when one is full of longing in the heart. Krishna, I need you. Krishna, you are my only necessity. Then you can sing. Otherwise, your singing is still a little bit in need of enhancement, of enrichment. It is still a little mechanical. What do you think when you hear this? I have reached my end. You can ask me now questions. You can, so that we have a little exchange. I sometimes say to the devotees, I'm often requested to sing, and sometimes I feel as a Kirtan leader, oh, this Kirtan, yes, there's the melody, yes, we have the perfect harmonium player, the perfect Mridanga player, but it is not satisfying to the heart. There is something is missing. Usually it's the heart of the Kirtan which is missing, Krishna. And when that is there, then you don't want to stop. Otherwise you think, oh, I still have 1 hour to go, how will I survive this? And then you look after what seems an eternity to you, and you see the, what is it called? The finger of the, is it called a finger or what is it? What? The hand, thank you, has not moved 1 inch. Not even 1 digital number, or one. What is wrong here? Is the foolish thing not working? Then you look again, has maybe moved half a number, and time is not passing because there's no heart in it. And the other time is your monument tells your monument it's time to stop. What? I mean, haven't even started. No. Surabi Kunda. No? Surabi Kunda. Yeah.
I had a question regarding doing service, whether it's Kirtan service or other types of service, and you were explaining that it's you should have a heart full of devotion as well, or a heart full of joy, kind of combining those. And I think sometimes we have to do a service, if it's Kirtan or something else, and we're not really feeling any devotion, we're not feeling any joy, and but it is necessary. And in that sense, I think sometimes we say you just have to surrender and you just do it. But in what way do we is that relationship with Krishna in that sense?
There is a very, very interesting conversation between Prabhupada and his servant Shuddha Kirti. Shuddha Kirti accompanied Srila Prabhupada on his world travels, and when they came to the airport, he was always wondering how ecstatic the devotees greeted Prabhupada, and how they had at times tears in their eyes and brought flowers to Prabhupada, and he didn't feel that. He only thought of, oh my God, I have to think of the luggage to bring it from the conveyor belt to the waiting car, and so on. he asked, one day he was so disturbed, he asked, Prabhupada, these devotees love you so much and I seem to not love you at all. I don't feel anything like that. Can you imagine his concern? Something wrong with me? And Prabhupada did not answer immediately. I don't know what went on in Prabhupada's mind. Perhaps he, sometimes the servants changed because it was so intense and they couldn't keep up the pace. He just was silent, or I don't know, he didn't answer this. Then in the evening, Shuddha Kirti again, and he came, and Prabhupada was in the habit of taking a small evening massage for relaxing, and then he would go into sleep. So Shuddha Kirti came and gave him the massage. And then Prabhupada said, do you love your service? And Shuddha Kirti said, very much, Prabhupada. And then he said, that's your love for me. It is to be found here, not perhaps in effusive or emotional displays and so on, which are also there, but so on. So I think, Surabi, sometimes I know there's so much to do and has to be done, and you may be a little bit stressed out, you had to get up at an inhumanly early time, you didn't want to get up, you felt so tired, and then you were somehow going through the hygienic activities of the day, and so on, and your mind is still a little groggy, but you need to do the service. I think at that time Krishna just sees, oh, she's turning up, she's showing up. Sometimes it's like this with japa also. You may have still some rounds left and the day is already over and you're tired and hungry and sleepy and everything, but you say, okay, I have still these rounds left, let me somehow or other complete them. At that time, you have no real devotional feelings, but still you showing up. And your devotion may be concentrated, or at that time is concentrated in just the act of showing up. And not flunching, not going somewhere else, or just you coming, okay, this Radhadesh Samadhi, yes, I know, I mean, this needs to be done, that needs to be. Have you thought of the toilets? You know, and so on. And you're just going through the motions, so to say. But if your whole life is like this, you're showing up, you're heading up for burnout. Really, it will come. Many devotees who so much showed up throughout their lives, if they were not motivated with Krishna, devotion for Krishna, one day they are gone. Or one day they can't keep up the external presentation, and then that's what, when something happens, which in our movement we call a scandal. What's really is that they have not been able to fill their heart with enthusiasm, joy in the devotional service. Therefore, it was too dry for them. It didn't nourish them. Krishna. You know what I do to awaken my tired heart? I read verses like the Sharanagati prayer, And they always work for me. I mean, maybe not always, but most of the time. Or I read other verses, sing also songs, bhajans, when I'm alone. Sometimes Sulavi, I dance and no one sees me. And I'm not afraid of the mobile telephones which make videos. For Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What is your good name, please?
Florina.
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 In a way, my question is very much related to what Surabhi is saying, but sometimes before doing a kirtan, one may feel quite nervous in itself, like, and sometimes you also bring maybe the stress from your day, from your family, etc. And because of that sentiment, you're not able to perhaps access that devotional heart.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what one could do to separate a little bit from the nervousness and the stress and come more towards the devotional heart.
What Kirtan leaders always do is they do a short Mangal Acharana that is paying obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or other, and that brings them usually into some Mangal, some auspicious mood. If that is not done mechanically, but purposefully, that you're now paying your obeisances to a great saint and to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it does take a little bit from the anxiety away. Because anxiety is only there when you think you are the doer. When you think you are an instrument in the hands of Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you're very joyful, you're happy to be an instrument. Only when the false ego comes and says, I'm now seeing. There is something else which I had to learn. See, by my nature, although many people don't believe it, I do have a very introvert side to myself. I'm very happy when I sit the whole day and just chant and read. But there was a time when we had these big concerts. We were known in the media as the Gauranga Bhajan Band, and we had record numbers of audience, 30,000 and so on. It was really, our trick was we had devotees who were distributing cards or tickets to the concert. No one ever thought about that. And devotees are usually very enthusiastic, So we had these huge audiences and I was the announcer. And I remember sometimes I was looking behind the curtain. The announcer has to come out from behind the curtain, go before the curtain, and welcome everyone and say, this will be the most wonderful evening. And he has to make a little atmosphere. I was just so tired, I just wanted to go to bed and not face an ocean of people, So I used something. I stepped back a little from my nervousness, and I told myself, you are only an instrument here in Prabhupada's hands and in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and people want to have a nice experience of Kirtan? Why do you step in the middle as if you are the doer? Why do you step in between people and the desire? So when you are, I can imagine you are not an older devotee, and older devotees says, we've done this since 50 years, we are not, no, it's very difficult to make us really nervous. Maybe when all the members of the GBC sit before us and will evaluate if we say everything just right and sing the right syllables. And I'm just joking now. So usually we are not nervous because due to having done this a lot. But you are young, so don't think you are the doer. And when you see nervousness is still getting over you and spoiling your whole mood, just pray to Prabhupada, to Krishna, to use you, then it will go. And you can think the devotees, everyone likes to sing now nice Kirtan. Why? They don't want me to fail, or that my voice goes and breaks, or that I forget my melody. They want a nice Kirtan, so I will do my best.
Thank you.
Yes. Hare Krishna. What is your
Hare
good name, please?
Karen.
Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Karen.
Thank you. I can't exactly remember what I was going to say, but it was something along the
You need
lines.
Brahmi pills. Brahmi pills are good for memory.
Yeah.
Yes, Karen.
But it was something along the same lines about.
Would you like to
Yes,
think a little bit more about it? Karen, we park you until your question is no, or is it already coming like a little ray of light from the
Yeah, a general idea. Yeah, it was just about more like when I've been in a morose state of heart or whatever, and whether it's with friends and just, I don't know, dancing like mundane stuff, or actually dragging myself to Kirtan, by going through the motions, I kind of become uplifted, and this sort of like fake it till you make it thing kind of takes hold.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wondering about that, like when you're approaching a service and you kind of have to actually take something, from that experience in order to give it.
Yeah. Karen, there is a lot of truth in doing devotional services even when you are not up to the mood, even when your heart is empty and your mind distracted. The power of these activities, or the power that is invested by the Lord in these activities, will work on you. It's almost like touching a live wire. It will work, it's alive. So there is a potency in devotional service, and Rupa Goswami says even a slight contact with any of these will elevate a person to bhava, to love of Syama Sundar, Krishna. Yeah? So that is always there, that no matter in what state you are when you approach devotional service, after having done it, by the potency of these activities, you will be elevated. Jiva Goswami gives the example of a rat who lives on an altar. Not visible, but behind it in some ways. And one day she sees a givik which is extinguished, the fire is no longer burning, and thinks this is a piece of cheese. So it approaches the givik takes it and it gets entangled in the teeth, and because it moves, the fire which was just dormant, which was only a little bit there, not even visible, gets incinerated, flares up in a little bit. And now the rat has a flame on its mouth, the gimmick is stuck there. And in an attempt to get it out, it turns the head around. Now this is the typical movement of a priest on the altar who offers a light. And because this is an activity that is imbued with power, the rat, believe it or not, Karen, obtains its spiritual body, and it dies, a panic attack in the heart, but it obtains its spiritual body. Here it goes back to the Vaikuntha travels. Not to Syamsundar Krishna, but to Lord Narayana in the Vaikuntha travels. And glorious. So this is an example which Shiva Goswami uses in order to illustrate quite graphically the power that is invested in devotional activities. Amazing. So whatever is your state, Karen, if you do it. But the reason why I was speaking about bringing, opening our heart for Kirtan is, if you only do this in mechanical service, mechanical devotion, you will be burning out. You have to think about bringing body, mind, and heart to it eventually. What a wonderful question, really, Karen. The question was very clear. And it needs to be said that even if your mental and things have not gone the way you really wish them to go, and you sit in the kirtan after some time, if you are connected with the activity of singing and so on, it will become natural. You leave the clouded mind behind and get above the clouds. So, all you others, are we clear? Then I suggest, our time is also coming to 10:30, now it's 12, yes, 1.5 hours. Should we do one last kirtan?
Yes.
I'm happy to introduce to you the Gaur Krishna Bhajan. Krishna maybe asked you to play the Vedanta. So what have we learned? Let us sit properly. You might like to take this cushion to sit a little higher and comfortable. We have one for you. Oh, you have the It's not too bad for you?
No, it's good. Thank you.
It's good enough? Yeah. Let us pay our obeisances. Our Mangala Achari. Mangala Achari. Namo Jami. Namo way of the body will bring you a far, far distance into the Kirtan. Please, now let us chant this way. Everybody please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Now, second level, our mind will be with every single, what is it called, syllable. We focus our mind on the mantra, much like we would focus a torchlight in the darkness on something which we want to see. So we read, in other words, the mantra with a focused mind. Please do it like this. Body and now mind. Everybody please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare So, Hare Krishna, if you forget everything which you heard, which might happen because you hear so much, remember body needs to chant, mind needs to focus, and heart needs to turn to Krishna. Then that is real kirtan in practice, and soon you will come to amazing levels. And Hare Krishna. It was very nice to be with you, really. Sometimes I like very much these smaller groups where we're a little bit more intimate, not just always some big groups. I could hear from the sound of your voices, you were really there, you were giving your best. Was very encouraging to see it. I will invite you for this afternoon. Let me ask our facilitator, Surabhi, can we do it also at 3:30, because I noticed that then we can take a gentleman's rest or ladies' rest after the prasadam. Then
Even 4 o'clock is okay. We can move.
there is nothing, we can move around.
Yes, I just kept this day for the session, so
Wonderful.
if that's better for your rest, we can move.
3:30 is the ideal time. Then see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.